Hey y'all, welcome back to another banger video on the channel. Today is going to be a relative how-to guide on how to Valorant. Today is just going to be mostly about guns and other things like that. So be on the lookout for that next week, and with about agent abilities and stuff like that. So don't forget to drop a like, subscribe. My Twitch links and Discord links will be down in the description for you. So don't forget, I'll see you all at the gamers in the outro. The Stinger is a very powerful submachine gun in the right hands, especially in close quarters combat, such as the 20 rounds it has, firing at 18 rounds a second.
There you are, you little shit.
Meaning it can wipe out players as quickly, as efficiently as possible, without really too many consequences. The burst fire isn't really a good idea when you aim down sights because you only shoot 3 rounds a mag a second, and people with other guns such as the Spectre or any rifle can easily kill you. The Spectre, on the other hand, is a higher tier submachine gun that has an ADS time which is quicker and doesn't have a burst fire mode. Instead, it still is full auto. Meaning you can engage in close quarters combat scenarios such as this. While the Spectre submachine gun does have its strength in its close quarters combat scenarios, but the moment you get on longer ranges, it will always be outclassed by anyone such as the Vandal or the Bulldog. Moving on to shotguns now, the Bucky it completely excels in close quarters combat over the submachine guns, such as with the left click.
There you are, you little shit. Here.
While the Bucky completely excels and outclasses the submachine guns in close quarters combat, it is horrendous in long ranges. And gets completely outmatched by any rifle or sniper rifle. Next up we have the Judge, which is extremely good in close quarters combat, if not the best. And here you can see why. With its fast fire rate and the incredible mag size, yeah, it destroys people. Very similar to the Bucky, it is completely horrendous at long ranges. As the recoil Next up on our list is we have the rifles, such as the Bulldog. It costs 2100 credits and is a very good rifle at medium range if you don't have enough for a Phantom or a Vandal, which we'll get down later in the list. It can outclass any submachine gun at medium range. See here.
Looks like I was the stronger.
Another prominent feature of the Bulldog is when you aim down sights, it switches to a burst fire mode, although this is not ideal in very, very close quarter situations such as this one. Because you can get outclassed by any submachine gun, so keep your distance. Next up on our list we have the Guardian, which is a very prominent rifle at long ranges, only costing 2400 credits compared to the 2900 credits of the Phantom and the Vandal. And yes, it's a one-tapping machine from long ranges. Just because the Guardian is a one-tapping machine from extremely long ranges, I wouldn't recommend using it ever in close quarters combat, since it's only tap fire and you have to keep on clicking your left click 12 times. And anything like a submachine gun or a Judge will always outclass it. Moving on next, we have the Phantom, with for 2900 credits and an additional silencer on it, this is one of the better rifles out there that anyone can hold just fine. And yes, it's pretty good at medium ranges over any shotgun or submachine gun that we've covered earlier.
There you are.
Just because the Phantom is very solid at medium ranges, don't even go out of your way saying, oh, it's the best at long range, because anything like a sniper rifle, such as a Marshall or an Operator that's coming later in the list, is going to be better every single time. Moving on to our last rifle in our inventory, we have the Vandal, which in my opinion, I think is a little bit better than the Phantom, just because of its smaller mag size and the one tapping to the face from any distance. But remember, the op can outclass it, but all you need to do is simply just wait for your Operator.
I could not have made that easy. What?
No, don't go thinking you can just run and gun and fight everyone in close quarters combat, because just because you have the power of one-tapping somebody to the face doesn't mean you're going to do it every time.
Unless you can get lucky with a headshot, you will get outclassed by a Judge every time.
If you're looking for something for a bit cheaper in the sniping department, maybe consider the Marshal, since the operator now costs 5,000 instead of the original 4,500 since the release. But it also is very prominent at long ranges and will outclass any submachine gun or judge/shotgun that we've ever seen in the past yet. And since the Marshal is basically the same price as the Stinger, don't forget to keep your distance to save your life. So the operator is a very pristine sniper rifle. It counters almost anything if you just hit your first shot, such as an Odin or any rifle. Just because you have an operator doesn't mean you're almighty and powerful. If you miss that first and crucial shot, you can get outclassed by anything such as an Odin or any rifle.
Thrifty.
Moving on to the LMGs now, which are more powerful in the mid-range combat than ARs, or rifles in a sense. Such as the incredible mag size of 50 instead of the usual capped 30 or 20 mag size that most other guns have in this game. It is basically a spray and pray master's dream, as a sub-alternative to the Odin. Because you can dump so many rounds into people, it's really effective.
At a cheaper price point than the Odin.
Just because you have 50 rounds in your mag, don't think you can start running and gunning and pushing people who have a Bucky or a Judge. Because they will completely counter you. The Odin is probably one of the more powerful guns, although it does have a price point of 3,200 credits, which is basically like half your inventory. But it is worth it because you can pre-fire any angle that you think there's an enemy nearby. And you will still have enough to win the fight later on. However, just because you have 100 rounds in your mag and you think you can pre-fire every angle, just because when you run out of bullets, you're going to get caught red-handed reloading a lot. The Classic is a very versatile weapon that has the very low cost of free, as it has a dual fire mode. One is just your classic pistol, and one is your alt-fire, which is just a shotgun. Yet you can still be outclassed by Ghost if you hit the headshot with it. The next sidearm we have on our list is the Shorty. Although it is not really that prominent in most situations, if you have a movement-based character like Jet or Raze, it is pretty good at cleaning people up.
Outrun me.
When you need to. But of course, the downside to the Shorty that it's a shotgun, so it's very prominent in close quarters combat, meaning you will get outclassed by any pistol besides the Shorty itself at longer ranges. If your team does lose in the first round and you do not have a fully automatic weapon on round 2, the CZ75 Auto or the Frenzy is going to be your best bet. Sure, it may only have 13 rounds in its mag, but it's still pretty prominent at close range. Because all you have to do is hold down left click. However, since the Frenzy only costs 400 credits, it's very cheap, but if you can buy a submachine gun such as a Stinger or a Spectre, then I would definitely recommend it, because it will outclass it with the higher fire rate. Moving onward next, now we have the Ghost to deal with. It is a very long-range pistol, and it's pretty good if you're willing to break out 500 credits out of your original 800 at the start of round 1. And yes, you can one-tap people without shield. The Ghost has very good range and a very cheap price tag if you ever do need to save on credits in one round, just so you can buy a rifle or some machine gun later on the next round that you find. Although it will be outclassed by any rifle that you presumably will. Lastly, to round out the sidearms, we have the Sheriff, or commonly known as the Deagle. This is a very long-range pistol, but for the more experienced players, yes, we would definitely recommend this if you can click on your opponent's head. For you newer players, I would not recommend using this, since this burns all 800 credits you get at the start of round 1 or round 13. But then again, it does one tap in the face, with people with no armor. If you're ever in a close quarters combat fighting scenario and you miss your shots, you can be outclassed by a much cheaper Shorty or any shotgun that we covered earlier. Hey y'all, thank you for watching it till the end. Don't forget my Twitch and Discord links will be down in the description if you ever mind joining them. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and next week we'll be probably covering the agent's abilities, such as like Jet Smoke, Tailwind, Updraft, stuff like that, for you newer players to fully get into the game. Since today was about the guns, we'll be talking about the agent's abilities next week. So don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next week.